All
right, so I'm going to start by dicing up half an onion. This is a recipe that would serve 8, and since I really don't want to be eating this for the rest of my life, we're making half a recipe for Kip and I. So I've already got some olive oil warming up in our non-stick stainless steel pan, which sadly is going to go away. Grab a spoon, and I'm going to brown that up a little bit. It calls for cherry tomatoes, which would be wonderful if I happen to have any, but as you probably already know, why am I getting this glare all the time? Here we go. I can never follow a recipe the way it's supposed to be. So anyway, I'm going to be using some of the sun-dried tomatoes, and I've drained off oil. So since the recipe doesn't give me this information, I'm winging it, okay? How can you go wrong with sun-dried tomatoes? Anyway, I think it'll give you a little more burst of flavor than regular tomatoes would anyway. So we're going to be using this, and along with that, once the onions are cooked up a little bit more, I'm going to add some garlic to that, and we're going to just let these cook for a few minutes. Okay, I've got the onions softened up, translucent, and so now I'm going to put in the sun-dried tomatoes, pop the garlic into the garlic press. I love that I don't have to peel it anymore, and squish that in. I have 2 cloves of garlic in there, so it's a bit tougher. I should have done it one at a time. But let me move this out of the way and give that a little bit of a stir. You don't want your garlic to cook for too long, otherwise you'll burn it. Oh yeah, I can smell it. Smells good already. And now it's going to take some spinach, and I'm just going to give it a loose chop because I just can't stand long stems. Don't ask me what it is. Since spinach is not my favorite thing, if you ever watched my videos before, you know I am not a fan of finished spinach in the least. I'm going to throw that in, and this is going to take about half a bag of spinach. For the full recipe, you'd need a whole bag of spinach. Has anybody ever noticed now that what they qualify as baby spinach now in the grocery stores isn't very baby? Is it just me? I don't know, but it doesn't look very small, but that's okay. Like I said, I always have to chop it up anyway because I can't stand the stems. Now this is all going to go together with that spaghetti squash that I did earlier. Let me grab one more handful of spinach. And this is going to be going into the oven to finish after I add the cheeses. This happens to be a recipe that is considered keto and Weight Watchers friendly. WW, sorry, it's no longer Weight Watchers, I have to remember. And I'll just cook this until it's wilted, which is just going to take a couple minutes, and then I'll be adding the rest of the ingredients. Hang in there. Okay, I got the spinach wilted down. I removed it from the heat according to the directions, and now I'm going to be adding the spaghetti squash that I cooked earlier today, just to have it done and ready to go. And the recipe calls for the whole spaghetti squash, and like I said, I'm doing half the recipe, but because the spaghetti squash has lots of nutritional value, very, very low in calories, very good for you, I'm just going to go full tilt with all the am I making spaghetti squash. All right, senior moment, sorry about that. All right, now I'm going to continue to mix that up while I add my pretend ricotta cheese. And I've got a cup of ricotta cheese here. Put that in there. And do I ever have ricotta cheese? No, I always end up using cottage cheese. That's just the way I roll. And then once I get this all mixed in, I'll be adding a little bit of mozzarella and we'll put it together, put it in the pan, in the oven. Okay, I've got that all stirred up. Shredded, I always have some shredded block mozzarella cheese that I do on a little shredder, cheese shredder. And I'm going to put in 1/4 of a cup of the mozzarella cheese and a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. And I know it would be better if I had fresh Parmesan, but just like the ricotta, I don't have that handy either. I'm not going to add any salt and pepper at this time. We try not to oversalt things, and we're just going to see how this goes. When we eat it, we can season it then. I don't know. Are you finding yourselves trying to cut back on salt too? And not just because we're getting old, because it's the better thing to do. All right, so I'm going to put this all together in here. And one last thing to add, we need to chop up some basil that I have right here. Luckily, I have a very got the stem in there. Woo, how'd I do that? Do not want the stem. No, 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 no stems, thank you. I don't know, are basil stems bitter? Is that why we never use basil stems? I just know you never do. And so I'm just gonna give this a loose chop also. Love basil. Besides garlic, it's probably my favorite seasoning. Do you have a favorite seasoning? What's yours? Or do you have things that your family just won't eat? Are there certain seasons you just have to avoid? Okay, so I'm just gonna dump this all together, put it in the pan, and turn into a wonderful, delicious side dish to go with our grilled chicken tonight for supper. What do you think? Would your family eat this?